Example number 1. Construct a formal proof of the validity of the following argument. If Mel is enrolled in algebra, then Joanne is enrolled in calculus. Mel is enrolled in algebra and Vince is enrolled in physics. Therefore, Joanne is enrolled in calculus. We need to make the translation of this one. First step, we need to make a representation of this one. We will represent the propositions in this argument. If we say proposition, that is a declarative sentence that is either true or false, a statement that can stand alone. And in logic, we use the letter P, Q, R, S, T to represent proposition. So let's start with P. Let us read the argument again. And as we proceed, if you find a statement that can stand alone with simple subject and predicate, represent that as a proposition, starting with P, then Q, R, and so on and so forth. So if Mel is enrolled in algebra, here, Mel is enrolled in algebra. That is a proposition. So let's put. Why? Because Mel is our simple subject and is our simple predicate. It's a sentence. Next, continue reading. If we can still find another statement that can stand alone, different one, represent with another proposition using letter Q. Then Joanne is enrolled in calculus. Oh, ayan. Another statement that can stand alone. So, Q. This one. So, letter Q. Yan. Continue reading. Mel is enrolled in algebra. So, may representation na siya, P. And Vince is enrolled in physics. So, this one, another statement that can stand alone. Another letter we need. So, we need letter R. PQR. Yan. Then continue. Therefore, Joanne is enrolled in calculus. Repeated already, Q. So, that's it. That's our representation. The next step, translation. If we say translation, we will use our representation proposition PQR using also logical connectives like N, inverted V, then or is like V as in victory, if then, arrowhead pointing to the right, negation, curl symbol, and so on and so forth. So, I will copy the whole argument, the original given, then each sentence I will separate. Yan, with space. Then let's read again. Using connectives. If Mel okay. So now you need to translate this one. Let's read again. If Mel is enrolled in algebra, so we have already P. That's our P. Then, so if then, arrowhead pointing to the right, Joanne is enrolled in calculus. So this is our Q. Mel is enrolled in algebra. Yun ang sinabi. So, na-represent na natin yan. Anong letter? P pa rin. And, yan yung inverted B. V. Vince is enrolled in physics. So ito yung ating R. So, meron tayong P and R. Therefore, Joanne is enrolled in calculus. So, tatlong tuldok, forming a triangle. In geometry kasi, yan yung therefore. Joanne is enrolled in calculus. That's our Q. This whole proposition. That's it. Then, next step, we need to make formal proof. When we say formal proof, we need to make a 2-column table. Yan. Labeling our table, this is our proof. That's our third step. First step, representation. Second step, translation, then proof. Labeling the first column, statement. Second column, reason. Yan. Like in geometry, di ba? In geometry, angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Reason given. O, angle 2 is congruent to angle 4. Reason, definition of congruent angles. Mga ganyan. What will I input here? The first sentence that we translated. Yan. So, FP then Q. di ba an argument is consisting of of premises and ending with a conclusion. So the reason here, premise. Like in geometry, di ba? Given. So ito, given. Tinanslate lang natin. So premise. Number 2, PNR. So just copy yung translation ng second sentence. So ano ulit lalagay natin dito? Premise pa rin. And then, hindi mo isusunod dito yung conclusion natin na therefore Q. Kasi ito yung kailangan natin i-prove. Ibig sabihin, merong nawawalang mga rows dito. Ayan, spaces, statement of reason. Hindi natin alam kung ilan. Depende kung paano natin ipoprove yung ating conclusion. So, kailangan mapalabas natin na ito yung dulo. Yan yung ating conclusion. So, paano po ba mag-prove? So, gagamitin natin yung rules of inference sa replacement para sa reasons. Yan, reason. Kung anong rule ang applicable. Depende sa statement na maiisip natin, tayo mag-iisip. So, paano po ba gagawin? We need to prove our conclusion Q. First step, we need to locate Q in our given premises. So, in number 1 and 2, yung Q matatagpuan sa 1. Kaso, sa number 1, conditional eh. Diba? If P, then Q. So, lalagay ko sa baba, if P, then Q. So, hindi ko pwede i-isolate na therefore Q lang. So, hindi pwedeng burahin yung if P, then. Walang ganun na rule. Ang meron lang rule na pwedeng isolate si Q ay ayan, P and Q through simplification. Sem, therefore Q. Okay? If you're not satisfied, so ang gawin nyo, P and Q. So, next, commutative first, we need to change the order of this one. Unahin ko muna si Q, tapos NP. Saka ko i-conclude si Q through simplification. So, ito, commutative. Ito, semp ang ginamit ko. Yan. Paano? Ang ginamit nga sa ating given 1 and 2 na given premises ay if then na symbol saka N. Kaso, sa number 2, wala namang Q. Ano susunod na gagawin? We need to find a rule of inference wherein kailangan one of the premises matatagpuan sa rule, alin sa dalawang premise, at ang conclusion niya dapat ay Q. Okay? So, if you will observe the rule of inference, ayan yung ating 9 rules of inference. Conclusion yung Q sa number 1, modus ponens, saka disjunctive syllogism number 4. Kaso, observe natin yung mga premises. Okay, so nakita natin tong premise na if P then Q, na isa rin sa premises dun sa pinoprove natin. Okay? Kaso wala tayong solong P. So, hindi din natin magagamit yung modus ponens. Lalo yung number 4. Yung number 4, disjunctive syllogism, P or Q. Wala na tayong ganong given. Meron lang tayo if P then Q, saka P and R. Okay? So, hindi pwede to. Not P. Wala naman tayong negation ng single proposition. So, this number 4 is not applicable. Automatically, we will gonna use number 1, modus ponens. Kasi, isang premise nakita natin, tama. Tapos yung conclusion nakita natin. At least may isang nakita. So, lalagay natin dito yung modus ponens rule sa baba. Modus ponens. If P then Q, P, therefore Q. Okay? So, this is our premise. This is our conclusion we found already in number 1 and number 5. To fully use this modus ponens rule, we need to have an isolated P para magamit natin yung modus ponens. Saan ba natin masasolo si P? Yun ang purpose ng number 2 na hindi natin ginamit na premise. Ito yung purpose noon. Dito natin ma-isolate si P. Through what? Just putting it down. Anong ginamit ko? Yung number 2, sinimplify ko lang. Pwede siyang i-simplification. Bakit? Kasi ang ginamit naman ay N. Diba I told you, pwede kang magbawas, pwede kang magsama, basta ang symbol na ginagamit ay conjunction na N. Pero kung gusto mo magdagdag, dapat makita mo yung symbol na OR. Okay? So, tama na yan. Ngayon, nabuo na natin yung modus ponens na rule. Kasi ayan na yung solong P. Yan mismo yung modus ponens. If P then Q, P therefore Q. Kompleto na. Okay, so we're done improving. Mapuprove na natin si conclusion na Q. So, sobra yung step ko. Burahin ko yung 5. Ngayon, pwede ko na maglagay dito, therefore Q. Anong reason ko? From numbers 1 and 3, I applied modus ponens to prove Q. Finish. That's the final answer. So, can you see? Hindi natin alam kung ilang space yung ilalagay natin to prove them. As long na tama yung flow natin, applying the rules of inference replacement correctly, we can prove it right away. Example number 2. Provide a formal proof of the validity of the following arguments. If Mark is correct, then his analysis is correct. And if Anne is correct, then her calculation is correct. Anne is correct, therefore, Mark's analysis is correct, or Anne's calculation is correct, or both. So this is our second example. First step, we need to make our representation, representing all the propositions in our given argument. So we will use logic starting with letter P. Let P. Find a statement that can stand alone in order from the start. So you read it. If Mark is correct, then his analysis is correct. So ito pa lang, Mark is correct. That is a simple sentence. Payak na pangungusap. Meron siyang panaguri sa kasimuno. Simuno at panaguri. So, kulayan ko siya ng blue. Yan ang una. Continue reading, then his analysis is correct. So, that is another statement that can stand alone. So, we can represent this using letter Q. Ayan, Q naman. Okay, nakita ba? Kaninong analysis yung correct? Kay Mark. So, instead na pronoun na his, I can write the proper noun, Mark. Yan. Continue reading. And if Anne is correct, so another statement that can stand alone. So, that is Anne is correct. Another letter kailangan natin. So, kailangan ko ng R. Okay. Ayan. Then, continue. Then, her calculation is correct. Whose calculation is correct? So, that is Anne's calculation. So, pwede natin ilagay dito another letter, S. Ayan. So, replace the pronoun with the proper noun. Kung kanino ba yung calculation na tama. Anne's calculation. So, possessive noun pala yan. So, kailangan natin na apostrophe S. Kahit yung Mark's analysis. Ayan. Okay? Next. Ano nang gagawin natin? We're done with our translation. Para na-translate naman na natin lahat. Walang naiwan, walang labis, walang kulang. So, as I told you, translation, we will use now logical connectives, not just proposition. Yan. We need to read the whole argument again. I will separate them by sentence. Basta natapos sa tuldok, ihiwalay mo na. Ayan. Let us now translate using our representation in our step 1. Okay, I hope you can follow. If Mark is correct, ayan, so we use P to represent that. If then, arrowhead pointing to the right, his analysis is correct. Whose analysis? Mark. So that is Q. Then, N, inverted V, if N is correct, so that is R. If then statement, so arrowhead pointing to the right, her calculation is correct. Whose calculation? So we're talking about N, so S. Okay? The first sentence here, kasi compound proposition to, first sentence, conditional. So dapat magkasama if then. If premise, then conclusion. Even the latter part. Ayan. Kulungin ng parenthesis dapat. Then, second sentence, Anne is correct. Another premise. O, anong representation ng an is correct? R. Solo lang siya. Just R. Therefore, 3 dots forming a triangle. Therefore, in geometry, Mark's analysis is correct. So, that is Q. Or, kasi disjunction ng or, ganyan, An's calculation is correct. So, that is letter S. Okay, yung both, no need to translate. Yan lang naman. Ano lang yan, add-ons. So, eto, ang tamang translation. Next step, we need to make a proper formal proof of validity by using a table. We need a 2-column table for this. So, insert na lang tayo. Ayan. We don't know how many rows we're gonna use in our table. Hanggang hindi natin siya napoprove, kailangan natin ng maraming rows. Depende, tayo mag-iisip niyan kung paano siya mapoprove. Ngayon, anong gagawin ni Ma'am Rona? Lalagyan natin ng label yung first column ng statements, tapos yung second column ng reasons. Ayan. Okay. Then, let's proceed. Number 1, yung una nating translate na sentence. So, anong sabi? Pakapihin lang natin. We will just copy. If P then Q, N, if R then S. O, translation lang ginawa. So, walang computation pa. So, lagay nyo premise, given. The number 2, just isolated R. Yan lang ang ating second premise. Okay? Then, we need to prove, therefore, Q or S. Ayan. So, number 3, lalagyan na ba natin? Therefore, Q or S? Of course not. Yan nga yung kailangan natin i-prove, yung conclusion na yan. Paano nag-end up sa ganyan, given lang yung dalawang premises, yung 1 and 2. So, we need to erase first. So, we don't know how many rows we're gonna use para ma-prove. Pwede tayo mag-insert pa ng rows below. Ayan, we don't know yet. Then, number na natin. Kung ilan ba ilalagay natin? 4, 5. Kung matatapos na sa 5, edi okay. Okay? O, number 3 muna. Anong gagawin natin para ma-prove? Ilagay ko muna sa taas yung ating conclusion. Therefore, Q or S. Ayan, conclusion. So, ito yung kailangan nating i-prove. Ay, hiwalay ko muna. Punta kayo sa rule of inference, humanap kayo na kung saan conclusion ito, makikita nyo, itong in-highlight ko ng yellow, saka alin sa dalawang premises na translate lang natin ay part nitong conclusion na to. Na premise din, 1 or 2. O, tandaan nyo ha. Ngayon, ito, kitang-kita ko na kung anong rule ang pwede nating i-apply. So, I will just write down here. I-apply natin constructive dilemma. Na ang constructive dilemma, meron siyang premise na mismo yung number 1 natin sa pinoprove. If P then Q, and if R then S, ayan, P or R, therefore, Q or S. Ayan mismo yung constructive dilemma. So, ito, nakita na natin. Yan yung number 1 natin premise sa pinaprove natin. QRS, yan mismo yung kailangan nating conclusion. Ngayon, anong wala sa atin? Ang wala natin yung pangalawang premise, P or R. Kailangan natin magkaroon. So, paano magkakaroon ng P or R? Doon natin gagamitin yung number 2 na premise. Yun ang kanyang purpose. Anong gagawin? Di ba, ang kailangan ko P or R? Ito R lang. So, magdadagdag tayo. So, from number 2, gumamit tayo ng addition. Ano dinagdag natin sa R? Dinagdagan natin ng P or R kailangan, so R or P. Yan. Magkabaligtad lang sila. So, para umayos, gumamit ka ng commutative sa number 3. Pagbabaligtadin mo sila ng pwesto, magiging P or R. Okay? O, ayan na. Yung kailangan ko, P or R. Nakompleto ka na yung constructive dilemma. So, we're done. Mapuprove na natin si Q or S. Okay? Ito yung kailangan nating another premise. Yun nasa baba. Ayan na siya sa number 4. So I can write now our conclusion, number 5. Therefore, Q or S. So what we did is, we use constructive dilemma from numbers 1 and number 4. CD. Final answer. Finish. That's how you prove, how you perform methods of formal proof for lesson number 3 of Math in the Modern World. Okay?